There. Okay. So once you, sorry, where was it? Yeah. So once you define your inclusion exclusion criteria, now you have a research objective, you have your inclusion exclusion criteria, then you will try to find out some databases. So the key databases that are used are one by Scopus, is elsewhere. So I'm not sure if I can write it here. We'll go into that in a bit. So Scopus is the most widely used. It's one of the biggest databases that has most of the journals indexed, the good journals. Approximately, there are like 47 million publications that are indexed in Scopus. Another database is Web of Science, or Clarivate as we call them, or Web of Knowledge. So as you might hear about the impact factors. So impact factors as a criteria that is given by the, awarded by the Clarivate, the Web of Science database. So you can use that one. There's another one with the name of Dimensions, which is free to use. For Scopus and Web of Knowledge, you might need access from the university. There's some more, but PubMed and academia, but these are the most commonly used databases and the sources that could be used for the systematic review.
One question,
so you
Dr.
start. Yes, please.
This Scopus is linked with Science Direct, right?
Scopus is linked, is owned by elsewhere, basically. Science Direct is also owned by elsewhere. So they are related from that perspective, but elsewhere is the owner of the database.
Okay.
Okay, so once you have selected your database, or you can use a multiple databases as well, right? You can use the Scopus as well, and you could be like use Web of Science as well. They're like the last I read it about, there are like 5 million studies that are not overlapping. So like there are 17 million that are overlapping between Scopus and Web of Science, but not the 5 million. So there are some differences, but most of good studies will be published in indexed in both Scopus and Web of Science. So you go onto those websites, you use the criteria that you have established in the inclusion exclusion criteria. You screen the studies, and you report the results. And I will come to this, but I just want to show you this Prisma framework first. So Prisma framework is the tool that we use for systematic review and for the bibliometric analysis as well. The first 3 steps of these ones are same that are used in both bibliometric analysis and SLR as well. The 4 is the same, but will be different for SLR, and there are different kind of data that you need for SLR. There's different kind of data that you need for bibliometric analysis. But the first 3 one will be the same. And for the first 3, we use a Prisma framework. Prisma is a short form of preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. This is a tool that was designed in 2009 to improve the transparency and completeness of the systematic reviews. This is how a Prisma framework looks. You will see this diagram in a lot of papers that have used, that are published on SLRs, systematic literature reviews. So it has 4 steps. You can see them on the left: identification, screening, legibility, and inclusion. So what we do in the identification phase, so we go into the different databases. This is God is identified through database, for example, Scopus, and you identified like 500 papers, or you might use or might not use it. It's up to you. You can use another database as well. And then you can remove the, once you identify the studies that are relevant using the keywords, I will show you in a bit how to do that. And once you have that, database starts screening, the second phase. First of all, you will remove any duplicates if there, right? Then you move on to the further screening, and we'll see for example, there are sort of exclusion criteria. For example, studies that are published in other languages, you will exclude those results, but you will report those results. So for example, there were 500 papers here. After removing the duplicates, you have like 450 papers. And from the 450 papers, you excluded 550 paper, for example. So you are left with only 400. So this will be only 400 now, right? And then if you're doing an SLR article, right? So, and you will see here also your further, inclusion criteria that was published in journals, published in specific time period. It depends on you and your significance of your topic that you decide those inclusion and exclusion criteria. So you will be, so once you screen those one, then you will see the eligibility. So what does it mean by eligibility here? So eligibility is, for example, you were looking for papers that were published on architecture and urban design, right? You search those keywords, the urban design, but you might come up with some papers that have used that keyword urban design, but actually they're not focused on architecture or eco-friendly urban design that you are trying to focus on, right? So that might not meet the eligibility criteria for your paper, for your research. So you will again exclude, but you will give the reasons. Okay, they were using the keywords, but they were not exactly relevant, right? So you will exclude those papers as well. And so after screening and eligibility screening, again, you might come up with some paper, like, for example, there are like 250 papers that are according to your need or your criteria. And you will do the analysis on those 250 papers. So that's why the inclusion and exclusion criteria is very important, because once you conduct this analysis, and if you come up that you made a mistake in this criteria, then you have to go back to this step identification process and do all these steps again, all these 4 steps. So that's why the inclusion and exclusion criteria is very important, because out of 3 steps are based on that inclusion and exclusion criteria. And you will left up with like 50 papers, maybe 70 papers, 200 papers, 250 papers, depends on your criteria and your topic. But then you will only analyze these papers. And in the systematic review, what we try to do is we try to first, of course, report these papers using the Prisma framework. And then we try to analyze and synthesize the findings, right? What this means is that we conduct a thematic analysis. What we try to do, we will go through, like, for example, all the abstracts, title and abstracts, and we try to divide those papers into different categories. There might be like 10 papers on eco-friendly urban design. There might be 10 paper on the financing of those urban design projects, right? There might be some papers that on the policy matters of those designs, right? So you make some themes of the literature, and then you analyze the studies in those themes that are there. So that's how we analyze the SLR. So just so that we don't not get bored, so I will first do the studies, show you the Scopus index, then we'll come back and we'll do the bibliometric analysis. First we'll see what's the bibliometric analysis, and then we'll move on to the VOS viewer. So for example, you can see here, okay, so this is a Web of Science database. So there are certain including excluding criteria as well here. The using a colleague's account. This is dimensions database. I have included some links at the end of my presentations. Dr. M can share my slides with you. And you can see links to this publication. The dimension database is free to use. It's dimensions.ai, and you can use this one. But most commonly used are the Scopus by Elsewhere and the Clarivate Web of Science. So once you go to here, for example, on the search one, okay, I was just looking for. So if anyone can volunteer, or Dr. Adil, maybe you can give me some topic that you want to do in SLR on. So we'll do it in the runtime. a practice how do you conduct SLR review.
Any keyword like urban
Okay.
green
So
or yes, urban green, Dr. Usman.
urban green. Okay.
Yes.
But what do you want to do a research SLR article on? What could be the topic? Just give me a few hints. So
I couldn't get your question.
So, like, give me a topic for your systematic literature review that you want to publish or write a paper on, for example. So I hear like green urban design.
Yes, you can say
Okay. Okay.
green roofs could also be a good
Green roofs.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is the basic interface of the Scopus database. It would be like almost the same in this one, but just a different options maybe, but more or less the same with the dimensions as well, right? So these are three databases you can use. So once we come on the research section of this database, you can see I have clicked on the documents. It gives you certain options. Where do you want to search in the document, right? You can search all fields. You can search article title, abstract, and keywords. So if I search, for example, urban design, and I click article title, abstract, and keywords, it will search these words if they're present either in the title of the paper or in the abstract of the paper or in the keywords. It will not search in the whole body of the paper. Okay. Or you can just choose, for example, article title. If this word appears in the title, if a word appears in the title, it means the paper is going to be about that. So, but most commonly that we use is abstracts and keywords. And keywords here do not mean only the author keywords. So when you write a paper, you read a paper, you see a certain keywords under the abstract, right? So there are like 4 or 5 keywords that are most important for that paper. But it also used the indexed keywords that are used by the journals that they think people would search about or will be better for the paper to come up in the results. So there are more extended versions of the keywords. There are more many other options. For example, if you want to search a paper that is published, want to search paper that is published by any researcher in GU Tech. So you can write here GU Tech or German University, the full name, right? So you can search by a country, you can search by affiliation, you can search by a funder or a CID number, ISN number, DOI number. So there are a number of ways. You can search by author name as well, right? But for the SLR, we commonly use the article title, abstract, and keywords. So it will be green urban design. So these are like 2 words, I assume, right? Urban design is 1 word.
Yes, you can write.
Okay.
Even you can only write urban design.
Okay. So if I write urban design, right, it will treat urban design as 2 words. So for example, if there is an abstract and there is a word urban somewhere in it and there is a word design somewhere in it, it will bring up those results unless I put a quotation marks at both ends. Now it will treat it as 1 word. Urban design, so that 2 words should come like together anywhere in the title or the abstract of the keywords. So only those papers will appear. For example, let me show you. So if I put these quotation marks, it's giving me 15,293 documents, right? And it is treating urban design as 1 word. You can see here in the first result, urban design is together, right? Over here, it will be in the abstract. It will be together somewhere. So you see urban design. So it will treat as 1. If I do not put this quotation marks here, it will put an and in between them. It will treat them as 2 words. And sometimes in some of the papers, it could be very, important. For here you can see. Now the number of papers I have become 128,000. You see, so you have to be very careful while choosing the search terms that you're using. So I put the urban design. Okay.
And Dr.
So
Usman, can you search green roofs? Maybe
yeah, Yes, sure. I will do that one by one. So if you want to, for example, do a research on green urban design, right?
Yes, or
So
green or urban greenery, something specific, really
yes.
specific.
Okay. So this is very important. So I add another research field. Okay. So it's possible that paper might not use the words green urban design, or they might use the greenery in urban design, or green, or uh, some other word. And so what I'm trying to say is, it's possible that the green urban design do not come together in every study. So what I will do is, I will use an and here. There's an option or and not, but I will use an and I will put green in a separate dialog box. So what it will do is, if there is a green somewhere in the title or abstract, and there is urban design somewhere in the title or abstract, all those paper will come up, and then I will see if they're relevant to me or not. This is a more safer approach instead of using the green urban design here. And for example, just as you were just saying, that it would be like greenery as well, right? And this could be very important, for example, in the sustainability. There could be like sustainability urban design somewhere, or sustainable urban design, or there could be some other variations of it. Same goes with the financials, with the management, manageable, manager, right? So what we do is, if I put a asterisk with the green here, you see, green and asterisk, what it will do is, it will do all the stemming words, green, greening, greenery, all these words will come up in the result instead of just green. Just to give you an example, if I can click on search and use the word green only, there is 17,037, 1,737 papers that have used the word urban design and green in either article title, abstract, keywords. But I put asterisk here and include all the stemming words, this number will increase slightly. You see, now it's 2,200 paper, almost 500 more paper that will use the variant of a word green. So it's very much possible that the paper is very much relevant to you, but that not using the word green, but instead they're using the word greenery, right? Okay, so there was some other keyword suggestion as well. I forgot what was that. Okay, just before I just remember one thing. So it's possible, and correct me if I'm wrong, the paper, instead of using green urban design, they might use the word sustainable urban design, and that would be the same, right? Can you hear me?
Yes. We are listening.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So it's possible that a paper is using the word green urban design, and some other paper is using the word sustainable urban design, and they mean the same thing. Is it possible? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, so for all those words, we have to use all those words that could be a possibility. For example, if they're using urban design and green, or capital or they're using urban design or sustainable. Sorry, right?
Yes.
And instead of going for the sustainable, I will go sustain and put a asterisk here, so it will include all the words sustainable and sustainability, all these kind of words as well. Right now, I will click search. Number will increase a little bit further. Right, there are a lot of papers that have used the word sustainable maybe and not the green. So you have to use all the alternative words that are possible. Right? If same here, if you want to use, you can use, for example, or between like architecture, or some other alternative words that people use, the researcher use for the urban design. So if you put a capital R, so now the query is, the article title, abstract, or keyword would have the word urban design together and green or sustainable somewhere in the article title and abstract. Is it getting clear or confusing?
For me, it's clear, but for you guys, so
So if there is any question, let me know at any time.
maybe
All
if you have
good?
anything, you can ask.
Yeah, it's okay. Clear.
Okay.
Just he's telling you about like, how you are searching articles. It is a like platform like we already use Science Direct to download our articles. The Scopus is also is owned by the same company, Elsevier, the name of the company. So how you use different keywords and how you search different articles. Maybe all of you have specific research areas and you want to like download articles or you want to do some research on the topics that are purely relevant to your research area. So this is one way how you can search, and secondly, this analysis, how it helps in the visualization of the information when we do any meta-analysis or bibliometric analysis that will be explained by Dr. Usman. So, but still, if there is any confusion, you can ask.
I'm trying to access the website. This.
Scopus.com.
Able to find this search. area.
Dr. Usman, you have put the link of the Scopus in your presentation?
Yes. So at the end of my presentation, the slides, I have some, all of these links here. So these are the database links, the exact link for the search query page, and these are the bibliometrics download, and for the VOS viewer downloading, this is the link. So I have put those links in the presentation.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how. Okay, so now about the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So first you have the. So I'm just for the sake of the making it easier for the class, I'm just remove this sustainable to reduce the number of papers. Now, if you look on the left side, and that's where the inclusion and exclusion criteria comes up. You will see the author's name. Okay, it doesn't matter who has written the paper. We can ignore that. There's a subject area. Usually you can ignore that as well. Could be, it's possible that a paper that is on the urban design is published in the energy related papers because it's discussing the energy problems in the architecture, right? So we can ignore that one. But here, document type. For a research article, so we usually only focus on the articles. We do not focus on the conference paper. We do not focus on the book chapters or the books. You want to, if you want, you can include the review, but not the books and other aspects, right? The notes, the ratium, editorial, short survey, conference review. We usually do not include those papers, so we will exclude those ones. Source title is the name of the journal, so you can ignore that one. Final or articles in press, it means they are both accepted, which is fine. Country is also okay. Source type, again, we only focus on the journals, not on the book series or trade journals or conference proceedings. We'll focusing only on the papers that are published in English, right? Then we will click on the limit too. So now we have an inclusion and exclusion criteria. Remember these steps. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the screening and eligibility criteria, right? We were filtering out some papers here. So this is how we are filtering out. And in the Prisma framework, then you can see that we have identified like 200 papers, right? Then we made this inclusion exclusion criteria. Then we remained with like 1,500 papers, 1,556 papers. And for example, if they are included in our bibliometric analysis or our SLR analysis. So once you have these papers, there are a few things that you can do on Scopus. First of all, you have to export this paper outside so you can use on VOS Viewer or any other softwares. Most softwares are compatible with this CSV file, the Excel file, So click on CSV. You will see that it's not asking which information do you want to export. So information about author and EID, source title. There are a lot of people look at graphical information, abstract, funding details, other information. You might see that some of these things are not useful, but for running the statistical analysis of the bibliometric, we might need those ones. So we'll click on everything. That is the same thing. So you do not have to repeat your efforts. And you click on export. So now you can see it's saying exporting these results. It will export this result in a CSV file. And while it does so, there are certain kinds of analysis which you will see here in the performance analysis, which are descriptive of nature, that the Scopus or some other database as well performs them for you. So if you click on analyze results, you can see on this one, there was like one document 1980, or you see very few documents till 2003 when there was 13. But in the past couple of years, we'll just save it in this one.
So, Dr. Usman,
So that's the file.
It means
Yes,
that in
please.
2004, nobody was doing any research in urban planning.
Urban planning and green urban design.
Yes.
Green urban design. So there is one paper. The first paper that appears in the database is of 1980.
Yes.
And after that, there was no paper. In a few years, there were one or two papers. So you can see. But since 2003, this field has started to pick up, and you can see the very increasing trend, especially in the last 10 years, right? So in the last year, 2023, there was 196 papers that are focused on green urban design, that have used the terms green urban design.
Yes, and one more question. For example, in Oman,
Yes.
my question is that in the filtration, we use Oman. Like in terms of urban planning, how many papers are published in Oman? Which topics people
In
have
Oman, okay.
Yes, in
So
Oman.
if you look here, so Scopus gives the result of some of the countries. So this is the top 10 countries. US has published most paper, China number 2. So there are like 290 paper by US, 279 by China. This is a top publishing paper. So we have to see if there is Oman in the list.
Okay, let's see.
So there is Jordan.
Saudi Arabia is here. I see Pakistan is here.
Yes, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Palestine.
So it means in terms of urban design or green urban design, nobody
Green
ever,
urban design. So
yes, even in green urban design, nobody ever published any paper in this domain here.
From Oman. But keep in mind that we have used the specific term green only. So it's possible someone might have published using the word sustainable urban design.
Okay.
Okay. So because we have less. So
during the filtration criteria, when we were searching at that time, can we select specific country? Urban design.
Yes, we can. So let me go back to this page onto the search query.
Yes.
Right.
Now you use urban design.
Right.
You remove the green. Yes.
So you want to see only the urban design?
Only urban design.
Okay, let's
I just want to show you the room for research in case.
So okay.
Yes.
Let me. So there is an affiliation country as well.
Yes.
Okay, so let me make it more simpler. So I add a research field and I click on the affiliation country and I put in Oman.
Yes. Now let's see.
Let's see. There are 9 documents. Right? So these are the Khan al-Sadi and Kari al-Hashim. So these are 9 papers that we have used the urban design.
I think I saw my paper also.
Oh, really?
And,
Which one?
the second one. No, this is for the Professor Gustavo, one of my colleagues. The third one is
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Ruth Ahmed Ali, yeah.
physical activity. So if you click, you can be directed to that
Yeah.
site directly as well.
She a health consultant. She also works in our team.
Okay, okay,
Ruth-
perfect. So it will show you all the results along with their citations as well. But just to show you, so I think we're running short on time. So, so these are the descriptive analysis. So it can give you documents by year, as we saw was doing them, documents by affiliation. You can search actually how many papers are published by GU Tech or any other university.
Yes.
You can search by authors. Since we only include the articles, so there's only one type. So there's also this subject area as well. So mainly are published in environmental sciences related journals, or followed by the social sciences. So these are the fields where this urban design and green urban design uh, were published. So this kind of analysis is called descriptive analysis. And we use this descriptive analysis or the performance analysis for both SLR and the bibliometric analysis because it adds value and makes things easier and more understandable for the people. And it has, summarizes the whole field kind of. So you will see this performance analysis in most reviews. And there are a number of analyses that you can run through the Biblioshiny software or the not the VOS viewer, but through the Excel as well and the Scopus as well. Like for example, total publications from academia, from industry, co-authored publications, total citations. So Scopus also provides you with the citations data as well. So if I go back, so you were saying here like citations, you can sort it by citation as well. Cited by highest if I do it. So you can see the cited as well, citations as well in this data. And you can have those graph as well. And you can save these results as well to any list, right? But at one time, it can only save like 2000, you can add later on as well. So these are the descriptive analysis or the performance analysis. We usually conduct three kinds of analysis in bibliometric analysis: performance analysis, science mapping, and network analysis. This one. Okay. So in performance analysis are more, you can see the descriptive in nature, total publications, number of contributing authors, these kind of things. Science mapping is the citation analysis. How many times are they been cited? How are the most, which are the most influential publications? The co-citation analysis is the relationship between cited publications. Bibliographic analysis is relationship between citing. There's just a little bit of difference. I will explain when I'm showing you on the VOS viewer. Keyword analysis, the which keywords are most commonly used. So if there are things like that, you will more easily can see the future relationship among topics, the writing content of the publication, the keyword analysis. They analyze the keywords, citation analysis, co-citation analysis, and the bibliographic coupling analyze the documents and the references of those documents. And there is co-authorship analysis, the social interactions of relationship among authors and you can see, for example, how many scholars, for example, if Dr. Adil is publishing with someone in KU Leuven, so it will show a cluster of those authors' affiliations that these two universities or these two countries are working together in a certain domain. So anyone can see now, analyze which countries are working on which aspects and which countries are more collaborating more in a certain field. And there is bibliographic coupling and citation analysis. For example, there are one paper which is cited by two papers, right? So that will go cited by the same paper. So it means there are more influential or dominant paper in that field. The bibliographic coupling is just the opposite of that one, or there are like same papers appears in the references, two papers appears in references of one paper. So they are like bibliographically coupled. So they are referred together in one paper. So it also shows the influence of those studies in the garden for a certain research topic. Network analysis, I will show you in the bibliometric. So since I was told I was have time, it was still 5:40, which just like a few minutes, but I will try to be quick. So if you go onto these links that I put in my presentation as well, the VOS Viewer download, you will download this software and you do not have to install it. So it's just ready to use. This is the basic interface of the VOS Viewer, right? This is not your results. It's just I was working on it previously. So you can go into the create. Since remember, I exported a file with the 1500 something results of the green urban design.
Yes.
So since that was a bibliographic data, so I will click on create a map using a bibliographic data, right? And I click next. Read data from bibliographic database files. You can see Scopus in here. So I will click on this one, click next. Now I will select that file. I think I downloaded it somewhere on a folder on the desktop. Yes, here. So this was the file. I'll click on this one. Remember to download the CSV file that you can use on number of data softwares. Or if you have a Web of Science file, then you click on the Web of Science. You have Scopus, so you click on Scopus. You have dimensions, you click on dimensions. Since I had the Scopus file, so I clicked on Scopus, I selected my file, then I click next. So it will take a few seconds to read that file. And then it will give you options of several analyses that we were discussing here. For example, the science mapping and the network analysis that we were having here. So this 5 is science mapping analysis, and there are network analysis which shows by the strength of the nodes. This one, I will just show you now, that would be easier. Since it's a relatively bigger file, which has the 15. Let me show you what does it look like. Sorry. Okay, so this is a complete file. We have to, of course, do some alterations in the format if you want to do that. For example, this is a list of all the authors of all 1500 papers that we had, right? So it has exported all the key information into one file. The author's full name, short forms, as you can see AR, and here you can see the full form, the author ID, title. Source title is the name of the journal where they were published, for example, Journal of Industrial Ecology, this one. The detail where it was published, issue number and volume number, DOI link to the publication, affiliations, Department of Civil Engineering, where the author is affiliated with, right? Abstract, so the whole abstract is here. If I just, it's this one. See, the whole abstract is here, the author keywords, the index keywords, and all the key information that is now into one file. So you can use it for systematic literature review analysis as well. So now the software has read the file, and now it is giving you different options. What do you want to analyze? Like co-authorship, co-occurrence. Co-occurrence is the co-citation. When they appear together by keywords. For example, let's do it by keywords first. So co-occurrence are the co-word analysis. Which words, Dr. Dilip, do we have time?
Yes, if you can finish quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
for example, we go on to this co-occurrence and select all keywords. Click next. So the preset criteria is like, for example, there are like minimum that one keyword should come at least minimum 5 times, and you can see out of those 9,000 keywords, 952 meet this threshold. I can increase this one. For example, I say at least the word should come like maybe 15 times, because I have a lot of results, right? Or maybe like say 12 times. So it will show that that keyword is important for green urban design papers, right? So 369 keywords meet this criteria of that they have appeared at least 12 times in those results. So I click on next. So here it gives me a table as well, right? So for example, urban design is the most commonly used word, used 1,164 times. This is the link strength as well. And by default setting is it is selected. I can click here, and I can also export this table as well, for export across relations, right? So I save this one here, and I can now have this table as well here. So you can see, I choose the wrong option, but it will give you all this, give how many times they have been used. Export selected keywords, so I use the translations one only. So if I selected keywords, it will show the urban design as how many times have been used. This is just in case if you want to use this one. It gives you alphabetically. Accessibility as we came up like 48 times, right? So it can give you all this information as well. But we want to visualize this data. So click on finish. It's running this algorithm. And now here you can see the graph, this chart. So you can see the most dominant circles here. For example, the urban design is the most common used keywords. The bigger the circle, the most dominant keyword that is in this on all these papers, more than 1,500 papers. So if I click on, for example, urban design, it will show me with other keywords are commonly used with this keyword, right? If I go, for example, like in flood control, small commonly used with urban design. I can go with, like, for example, walking. I see walking here. So walking is most, if I just move my cursor onto it, it will show we use most commonly with the neighborhood, urban design, physical activities, humans, our environment design. If I click on this open space, you can see which keywords have been used. If I click on China, it's one of the words because there are a lot of people from China. So you can see which keywords are most commonly used. There are a number of options. You can increase the scale of the this one, so you can reduce it. You can change if you want to change the colors. You can do that. So a lot of options. If you look at this bottom here, there are like 5 clusters. So all these keywords, which were like 300 something, they are divided into 5 clusters, and you can see there are 5 colors of circles. The blue ones, yellow, red, purple. So there must be another small one. So there are 5 circles, and if you go ahead on the items, it will show you those clusters. So which key terms are most commonly used together, right? So, and if I click here, for example, ecosystem service, right? So the broader the line or the nodes, it means the more significant is their relationship strength, that most commonly they are used with each other in the same paper. So it can give you a very good normal visualization. In this overlay visualization function, you can see the strength is increasing with, and it will show you which are relatively more related. You can click on urban density visualization. It can also give you a visualization that, for example, urban design or urban area. So the brighter the color, the more dominant they are among the other keywords that are next to them. Just quickly, if you want to do more analysis.
Can you please
Sorry?
click on overlay visualization?
Okay, one second.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of results. Let me go for another analysis, and then I will show you the overlay visualization that will more easier to comprehend then. So, for example, I go on to the if I go on the co-occurrence and use the author keywords, there will be less results. So if on 200 words that are used 5 times together. But if, for example, if I go with the co-authorship, which I wrote in the papers together, I go on the co-authors. So minimum number of documents of an author reduces to 3. So if I like, there are 3 documents by each of these authors, and 104 meets this threshold, and will say let's increase maybe the number of citations. So if there are like 2 or 3 citations, it means there are a good paper, maybe. So I click next, finish. Now it gives me that out of these 104 authors that had like at least 3 papers and 3 citations, only 10 of those are connected, right? So it asks me the question, do you want to see all those 4 papers which are not connected? So if I click no here, you will see there will a lot of papers that are not connected with each other. These are connected, these are connected, but they are not connected, right? So I go back. That criteria again. Go next. I can again export this table as well. I say yes, show me only those that are connected. That is the main purpose of VOS. So they're not like increasingly connected in terms of the co-authorship. But for example, this Jim here is working with this guy, and these 4 guys are working somehow in a like together. Maybe they have papers together, and so they'll have like 3 clusters, and these 3 people are working together, and these 3 people are working together. So in total, we have only 3 clusters, and I can go here and I can see which these clusters are, which these authors are. They have at least 3 papers each, and I have at least 3 citations to those papers. So again, the visualization graph will not be very good since the number is very less. Let's try. So there are a lot of graphs. You can choose whichever you want, whichever you can justify your research objectives or add value to that one. You can go with the citations, the documents. You can show with the sources. You can go with the authors as well. You can go to organizations, countries. Let's go with the citations. So the minimum number of citations, let's say maybe 20. There are still 502, let's maybe 50. So there were some will be excluded, they will not be connected. So there are like at least 15, there are 70 papers which has at least 15 citations. And out of those ones, only 272 are connected. So it will show us only the presentation of those papers. So these are, you can see, these are the papers. These are the most commonly cited papers. Okay, you can see the Fletcher is one of the among the main ones. The bigger the circle, it means the more dominant the role is one. And the broader the connection line, that means the relation is more stronger. So if I click on just, for example, one author, it will give me, for example, this Whitford is working with Sue and the Sue as well of these authors, right? Or they have been, cited together in different papers. Since this is so it gives you a very good overlay that which papers are cited together. For example, someone is citing Fletcher and they are also citing Walmsley and Ashley. It means these papers are very much interconnected or addresses the same question or same kind of the research problem. So they are very relevant papers to each other. So it can give you different clusters. In total, we have like 30 clusters. If you go to the items, you can see these items here. Or you can, it won't matter. If you go on the overlay, right? So this is the overlay visualization. The brighter, the more common one is there. And with the density one, you can see this Fletcher paper has more dominant effect on these authors right next to them. And same with any other paper. So density overlay can give you also very important information. And one more thing, you can easily save any visualization from here. You can click on save, and you can just click and it will save a PNG of that visualization. You can zoom anyone if you want to see in further detail or zoom out. So there's a lot of customization there. You can go to create and can create any other more. You can see, for example, let's see co-authorship by countries. That which countries are collaborating on the green urban design. So minimum number of documents of a country, let's reduce it to 3, or citations to 3 as well, maybe. Let's see how much are connected and how much working independently. Out of the 60, 58 are which are connected. It means a lot of collaboration is going on among the countries when it comes to the green urban design. For example, you can see some of the very bigger circle like UK, US, China, and Australia as well. So if I click, for example, on one country in the United Kingdom, and you can see all these nodes, these lines that are going through, it means the author from the UK are working together with the authors in these countries. The Belgium, Spain, Japan, US, Australia. If I go to, for example, right here, this smaller one, let's say Qatar. See Qatar here. So authors from Qatar had publications with authors from Japan, UK, US, and Australia. So you can go on to any country and see their impact or their collaborations, right? So since the time is running short, but you get an overall idea that you have all this kind of analysis, this 5 analysis, the science mapping, and you can see with the nodes, the network analysis as well. And you have the unit of analysis, or as we call them, the research constituents, right? Or you can call them unit of analysis as well. You can search by organizations, which organizations are collaborating. You can go to the co-citation, bibliographic coupling by authors, by documents, by countries. Go again, co-authors by keywords. You will get a more, for example, if you want to do an SLR using this data, right? So you say like, okay, maybe 8. At least 8 times, and these are the author keywords, not the index keywords. You can export the table as well from, since we've searched the terms green and urban design. So most commonly word used is urban design, which came up like 204 times. It could be a good to present some data in the form of table as well. So you can export this table, or clicking right, export selected keywords. And you see here, all word is selected. You can exclude, like, if there are like 1 or 2 times coming up, you can exclude those. The green infrastructure was 111, planning, ecosystem, sustainability, 67 times. So if I click on finish here, still is very densely linked. You can see the urban design have been used with all these keywords. This is major one. But if you want to see, for example, thermal comfort or urban greening, let's say. Urban greening has been used by authors in addition to these keywords: thermal comfort, urban heat island, urban design, urban planning, green infrastructure, nature-based solutions, water sensitive, urban microclimate, air quality, green roof. Someone was saying green roofs as well. So if I go into the green roof, you can see the green roof significantly uses the circle size. It tells us that it has been used a few times, and it's been used with the terms these ecosystem services, nature-based solutions, urbanization, green walls, urban vegetation, urban agriculture, urban density. And if I go here, and this one, let's see which was it. So it shows this cluster 5. Okay, so I go into the cluster 5, and green roof are used with most commonly with COVID-19, air pollution, green walls, green space, sustainable development, urban agriculture. You see, these are very relevant ones. So if you're doing a systematic literature review, you can also construct your themes for the thematic analysis using these clusters. Because these are the author keywords that are most commonly used. And you can reduce, for example, you can go back, and what you can do is, to make it more, easier to comprehend, you can increase that, at least that keywords have been used 10 times maybe, or 15 times, you will leave left with lesser words, right? So now these are the most commonly used keywords. So it will make it more easy. Now there are only 6 clusters, and you can see which one is important. Previously there were 13 clusters because I used the threshold of 5 citations. Now I've used the word occurrence 5 times. Now I've used 13 times. So if I just click on green space, these are the most commonly word used. And if I want, I can easily go on to the screenshot, click on save, word analysis, save it there, and you can see this diagram is saved, and I can just simply copy paste it anywhere in my presentations, in my research paper, and I can refer it this one. So it's very easy to use, and it's also a free software. It's very easily downloadable. You don't have to do the installation as well. And if there is any query that you come up with this, or you don't know how to maybe do the next analysis, first, when you download it, a manual will also be downloaded, or you can just go into this manual and click here, and it will take you to this link of the online manual, which gives all how to use the software. So if you have any questions for the softwares, you can just simply go on to, for example, analysis tab or map files or anything. You can just go on there and click and do the analysis, like how to do the network visualization, overlay visualization. So you will see it's very easy to use.
Thank you so much, Dr.
So
Usman, for
is there, unfortunately, I wish I could carry on, but I think we are running short on time. So if there is any question about any step or the software or the Scopus database, please let me know.
Yes, sure. Once again, like bundle of thanks to you for spending your valuable time.
It's my pleasure.
Yes. So hope to see you soon here in UTech in August.
Hopefully.
And
But if there is any question,
Question?
anyone can ask.
Do you have any question?
No, no. I
Oh.
don't have anything.
Okay, Dr. Usman, thank you so much. Here
All
we
right.
will see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
I know, like,